Hello and welcome to another episode of Tan Pants. Today I'm talking about history's weirdest duels.
Duels.
Interesting. Why don't we do duels anymore?
Well, because it kills people. And we'd
Right.
much rather pay for them to live and eat in a nice air-conditioned building.
You want to just kill people?
Kills people.
Carl. That kills people.
No, I can't do that.
Said,
Jimmy's mom.
That's a really good Carl.
I just eat hands, okay?
What was that from?
The llamas.
Oh, the
Carl,
llamas,
that
that's
kills people.
That's what you were doing, and then
He said-
he took it, Carl, from Jimmy Neutron. I have some duels here. So I found the first one.
It's
kind of by accident.
duel.
Time to duel. So typically a duel is when two people have a disagreement, and the only way to settle the agreement is not to like sit down and talk about it. No, we got to kill each other.
Yeah.
So there was a man in the 1600s named Jeffrey Hudson. Jeffrey Hudson was a unique man because
He was 300 pounds.
the opposite.
He was ugly.
Well, I don't think he was ugly. He was just incredibly short, 18 inches tall.
He was a dwarf.
He was 18 inches tall.
18 inches tall, but
he was not 18 inches
18
tall.
inches tall.
He was a foot and 6 inches.
His proportions were not off like a dwarf. His proportions were actually surprisingly well preserved.
What?
He was 18 inches tall.
He was like Mighty
So
Mouse.
he was just like shrink raid.
He was shrink raid basically.
He was Mighty Mouse.
He was Mighty Mouse, and he was a court dwarf of the English queen Henrietta Maria of France. He was famous as the Queen's dwarf and Lord Minimus, and was considered one of the wonders of the age because of his extreme but well-proportioned smallness. He fought with the Royalists in the English Civil War and fled with the Queen to France, but was expelled from her court when he killed a man in a duel.
What was the duel for?
The duel was, let me scroll here. So basically, this guy came to the castle, right? Well, hang on. Let me tell you how he was introduced to the Queen.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us.
Tell us the full story. I want to know everything about this man.
Okay. So in 1626, Jeffrey Hudson was presented to the Duchess of Buckingham as a rarity of nature, and she invited him to join the household. A few months later, the Duke and Duchess entertained King Charles I and his young French wife, Queen Henrietta Maria, in London. The climax of the lavish banquet was the presentation of Geoffrey to the Queen, served in a large pie.
Can you repeat that?
When the pie was placed in front of the Queen, Hudson arose from the crust,
Oh my.
18 inches tall, and dressed in a miniature suit of armor. The Queen was delighted, and the Duke and Duchess of Buckingham offered Hudson to her as an amusing gift.
Oh,
They offered him as a
Tiny
gift?
man! Yeah, they
You
did.
got me a man.
It's
a tiny man.
What in the world?
He had a great time. They apparently
Wow.
he lived pretty okay. He moved into the Denmark House in London in late 1626, where the Queen maintained her royal household. He was one of several curiosities and pets, among whom were a giant Welsh porter named William Evans, 2 disappropriated dwarves, and a monkey called Pug. He later developed a routine with Evans in which the porter pulled Hudson out of his pocket along with a loaf of bread and proceeded to make a sandwich with him.
No.
As he matured, Hudson learned to amuse and entertain with his wit and courtly behavior as well as his appearance. So between the ages of 7 and 30 years of age, he didn't grow, but he apparently did grow a couple more inches after he turned 30. Like some hormone thing activated, he was able to have a growth spurt.
Wow. So now he's like a full 2 foot.
I
2 foot and a half.
It'll say down here later how big it was. I forget it was.
Right.
But let me go down here to the duel. So the royalist courtiers collected around the Queen, but Hudson apparently had no interest in resuming his role of pet or clown, and let it be known that he would suffer no more jokes or insults. So after he fought in the war, he was like, "I'm done with the clown stuff.
It's all right. You guys take
fought
me
in a
seriously
war.
now.
Take me serious, yeah. Hudson challenged the brother of William Crofts to a duel. So there's no record of the precise offense offered. But in October 1644, Hudson challenged the brother of William Crofts to a duel. So it's not written down exactly what happened, because this is all off of like what was written down. We don't have pictures of this guy. We don't have, recordings. We just
Right.
have some documents about him.
Right.
So I assume they called him short, and he challenged him to a duel.
I have a crazy theory. What if this guy was like, let's just say 5'5"?
Mm-hmm.
So like he's not 18 inches, but the guy's writing the records like, hey,
He was 18
he said, hey, what's his name, Jeffrey? Hey, Jeffrey? Let's say he's 18 inches.
How short he is. Let's make him shorter.
And then we'll show him later, and he'll get so mad.
So Crofts, the guy he challenged, arrived at the duel brandishing a large water squirt gun.
What?
He's like, "Hey, little man, I got my gun. Squirt, 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 squirt."
Didn't have squirt guns back then.
Jeffrey shot him in the head.
Take me seriously. No
Yeah.
way. Was squirt gun?
The guy shows up with a squirt gun. He's like, "Hey, little boy."
He didn't think it was a real duel or what?
I don't know what this guy was thinking. It was dumb.
That sounds dumb.
Challenged him to a duel.
Well, he learned his lesson.
Yeah, so Crofts' death was a disaster for Hudson. Dueling had been outlawed in France, and this could be considered a transgression against hospitality. In addition to the fact that William Crofts was a powerful figure as the Queen's master of horse.
Oh, wow.
It says master
horse guy.
It says master of horse. I think maybe the master of horses. Maybe the Queen only had one horse.
It could probably also mean something else.
So he was like, it's illegal. This guy's not going to fight me. He's just joking.
Yeah. So Hudson was initially sentenced to death, but Henrietta interceded for his life, and they sent him back to England.
Yeah, just go back to England.
Yeah. Later on, his life ended kind of sad. He was captured by pirates, and he lived for like 25 years as a slave.
Wow.
And then he was ransomed, returned back to England. And in England, there was like some kind of big war, and they were like totally against the Catholics. This is like I've never heard about this before. During the Royal Restoration.
But I thought, is that just Rome?
Yeah, so
Catholicism
he
was
says
really big in Rome,
he had the misfortune of arriving at a time of turbulent anti-Catholic activity.
Oh.
He was imprisoned for a considerable time at the Gatehouse prison, being a Roman Catholic, is how it's
Did
spelled.
everybody have beef with Catholics back then?
I think the Catholics have had beef with everyone at one point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When you've been around that long. So he arrived in England 1676, was arrested, and then was released looks like 4 years later. And then he died 2 years later on an unknown date in an unknown circumstances. He's buried in an unmarked Catholic pauper's grave.
That's like pretty disrespectful, right?
Yeah.
Man.
Here lies Jeffrey. He was only 18 inches.
He was little tiny, but he
I'd
had
have like a really
big-
big like courtyard with like a really small grave in the middle.
maybe, I don't know.
That's what I would do.
Like the Holy Grail of graves.
Okay, so here's some other duels. I don't have as much information on these, so they'll be a little quicker. This is Humphrey Howarth versus Lord Barrymore.
Say that again. Who?
Humphrey Howarth
Okay.
and Lord Barrymore.
Lord Barrymore.
Barrymore.
Okay.
You know, like,
I'm going to guess Humphrey wins.
think Humphrey wins? Okay, this is in 1806. The incident was preceded by a disagreement at a racetrack.
Oh, this is like horse races?
Yeah. Howarth, a member of parliament and former surgeon, knew that gunshot wounds were often made worse by bits of clothing getting caught in the open wound. His solution was to arrive at the field completely naked. Lord Barrymore refused to fight Howarth, and the two parted ways with no further argument.
That's it.
That's how you get
So
out
was
of a duel.
every duel was started with like, yeah, your mother. That's it.
Your
You crossed the line.
And then
So
they,
there's but one rule. Got to do it naked.
yeah, naked.
He shows up.
So, like,
What now, Barrymore?
Well,
What now?
whenever someone challenges you to a fight, if you start taking off your clothes, that pretty much ends the fight.
I don't know.
Well, if you take off just the shirt,
It depends on the person
fine.
you're fighting.
I guess so.
like I've seen like a video where like a guy he did that. He took off his pants, and the other guy just starts to run away.
My goodness.
I mean, but what if like if you do try this tactic and you get naked before a fight, and the guy you're fighting is like, I don't care.
I saw a video on Twitter of these two guys fighting at a gas station, and they're like, doing the moving around, like they're getting ready to fight, and then one guy start taking off his hoodie, and the other guy's punching him while he's taking off his hoodie. He's like, and he backs a bit, and he starts taking his shirt off, and he punches him while he's taking his shirt off, and he's like, no, and he backs out and he puts his shirt back on, and then he continued fighting.
That's a bad idea.
Like, keep shirt on.
It's just so hot, man.
He doesn't know. He's indecisive.
Otto von Bismarck versus Rudolf Virchow. 1865.
The Iron Chancellor.
65 years
Yep.
later, almost.
So Otto challenged his political rival Rudolf to a duel. Imagine doing this. You're having an election. Like, I'm just going to try to kill him. We're just trying to kill each other.
Oh, we should.
That's a bad idea, Clay.
Have the presidents, like the final candidates, they just duel each other, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm down.
But the thing is,
So-
it's jousting.
Virchow had criticized Bismarck's policies that allocated more money to the military and less toward public health and resources. As the challenged party, Virchow had the right to decide which weapons they would use. What do you think he chose?
I'm gonna guess a sword.
Sword?
I'm gonna guess large fruits.
Large fruits?
Let me change mine. Slingshot.
Slingshot? Clay, what'd you think?
I'm gonna say like a cane.
Kane. He chose sausages.
I was the closest.
Unfortunately, what Virchow had in mind was way less amusing than using them like swords. One sausage would be safe, and the other would be poisoned with parasite larvae.
Oh my!
What?
Parasite larvae.
That sounds awful.
So you die a very terrible death.
Yeah.
Really sick.
Nasty death.
So Bismarck withdrew from the challenge upon hearing.
He said no.
He was like, "Wait, you want? No, I'm not gonna do that."
No. So I thought you couldn't back out of a duel.
You can't back out of it.
Someone challenges
That's
you
just
to a duel.
That's in movies.
Yeah, this is in movies.
There's not a policeman who's gonna arrest you if you back out of the duel.
Max,
No, it's like,
I challenge you to a duel.
okay, what's the weapons?
Nuclear bombs.
Okay, here's the last one. Monsieur de Grand Prix versus Monsieur Le Puig.
Sounds French.
They were French. 1808. Like many duels, this one was fought over a woman, Mademoiselle Trevet.
Mademoiselle.
If I can't have a
Mademoiselle.
can, because I'll be dead.
So,
How does that work?
so this lady was Grand Prix's mistress, but she had been discovered in a compromising position with Le Puig.
Aha.
They quarreled and decided to settle the matter with a duel, but a field wasn't good enough for the two men.
A field wasn't good enough?
Yeah, guess where they decided to fight?
Top of a building. Please say top of a building. In a bathroom.
I'm gonna adventure in the bathroom.
Man, what could be interesting?
Monsieur, you have messed
I
with
got
my
it, I got
wife.
it. In a big lake, they both have one raft.
No.
Oh,
They were gonna duel in hot air balloons.
oh, that is
Why not?
dude.
The loser fought to his death.
The loser.
They both have it hot air.
Yeah, they both have a hot air balloon.
Nice.
This is two hot air balloons.
Wait, how do you go forward in a hot air balloon?
I don't know. You lean really hard.
Are they jousting with hot air balloons?
I'm
Okay.
sure there's a way to. I know you can like make it go up and down with the flame.
So they met up. Each of them took a blunderbuss, and they got in their balloons.
What's a blunderbuss?
A blunderbuss is like a shotgun, like an early shotgun.
Okay.
Except it had a big old wide, like almost like a tuba.
Wow. Okay, it's like
Spells.
a Looney Tunes shotgun.
Like, yeah, it was a Looney Tunes shotgun that
Yeah.
like got big at the end, and you just
It's
poured
like a
stuff down
cannon.
in there.
It's basically like a cannon.
Stuff in there, and you blang.
Yeah.
So the cords were cut at 9 o'clock, and they floated into the air, keeping within 80 yards of each other. When they reached 2,000 feet, Le Pic
2,000 feet?
Le Pic shot first and missed.
Oh yeah.
De Grandpu's shot punctured Lee's balloon.
Yep.
Le Pic crashed into a rooftop.
This is the best
and
duel ever.
Le Grand Prix landed safely 17 miles from Paris.
Dude.
He goes, yes, I win. Now what the heck am I going to do up here?
Well, he can come back down. His balloon's in perfect condition. It didn't get shot.
So they each had one shot.
Well, yeah, you shoot their
Dude.
balloon. Their balloon.
I bet that was pretty scary. He shot.
Wait. So did they like have like somebody else up there to like count?
No.
There's a third guy in a
People
balloon.
are like looking up like, okay, it looks like, oh, they're shooting. Oh, he's going down. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Depew, when do we start?
Le Pic. Le Pic. Okay,
When do we start?
here's the last one. Andrew Ebert versus an unnamed Spaniard.
I thought you were going to say Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
This is in the 16th century.
Wow, this is the oldest one.
So, Holy Roman Emperor Maximilian II had an extremely beautiful daughter named Helen. Two friends of his wished to marry her,
Of course.
Andrew and a Spaniard whose name we don't know. Maximilian couldn't decide which of them was worthy, so he didn't want either. Okay, so he didn't know which of them was worthy and didn't want them to risk their lives, so he proposed an odd sort of duel. Whichever man could subdue his adversary and wrestle him into a sack would win Helen's hand.
He goes,
So they both
all right, boys. There's this guy I really hate. Whoever puts him in a sack
That's
first.
interesting.
No, he didn't hate him. They were like his buddies.
He was an adversary, right?
No, so
No, he didn't want them to die.
so two guys asked for his daughter's hand. He's like, I like both of you. I don't want you to kill each other in a duel like we usually do. Okay, whoever can wrestle the other person to a sack wins.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was the father's adversary.
No.
So they went after a dude, and
No,
that'd be
no.
kind of funny though.
After an hour of wrestling, Ebert was able to gain the upper hand. He placed his ravel in the sack and dropped it at the feet of the emperor.
Wow.
Another guy's.
How long was that fight, you think?
It says here an hour, but the lady writing the article says that she couldn't find very much more information about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the Spaniard got sacked.
Got sacked. And those are some very strange duels.
Just imagine that
One
one.
duel is strange, I guess.
Yeah.
They're like, get in the sack. No, you get in the sack.
Get in the sack.
Okay, Maxwell. I challenge you to a duel. What weapon are you using?
I'm gonna go with the sacks.
Sacks? Okay.
No. Hang on. Let me think about this for a minute. So, what's the setting?
Disclaimer.
What's the setting?
We're killing each other.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Duel.
Yeah.
What's the setting? Like, where are we? Where are we?
Okay. I'll let you decide. You want to pick the place or the weapons?
Active volcano.
See, that's not fair because whoever chooses the place is gonna accurately choose the weapons.
Okay. Which? Okay. I'll let you decide what you want to choose and who chooses first.
Okay, you're gonna choose first.
Okay. What am I choosing?
What? The place.
I'll choose the place. You choose. Okay.
Okay.
Ready? I'll go first.
Yeah.
Here, the place is. Do you remember in Jango Fett, that game?
Yeah.
You're chasing after Miko, and you're in that place with all the conveyor belts. We're fighting on those conveyor belts.
Okay, just say an
Conveyor belts.
airport.
Like
Massive.
the
Massive
boss fight.
airport.
in
Okay,
Toy
so
Story 2.
yeah, the boss fight in Toy Story 2 in the airport with all the conveyor belts.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Oh man, this changes things.
Yeah.
So our weapon.
That's what luggage we find.
I was thinking like giant sticky hands.
It's got to be fair.
Like really big ones that can latch onto
How are
you.
you gonna kill somebody with that? You gotta kill the guy with it.
No, it like sticks really well.
You can eventually
And it's
kill
really
anyone,
big.
man.
The item that we use each is a slinky, a metal slinky.
Metal slinkies?
Metal slink. Yikes.
Dude.
You could like use that as like a wire on their neck.
Yeah,
That'd get very, very graphic
Crazy.
very fast.
it would. But
Okay. Clay, Josh, who wins this fight?
you got to be detailed about it. You can't just say Isaac
Yeah.
or me. You got to say why.
It's me. It's me and Max in the Toy Story 2 conveyor belt airport.
Are you
with
guys
Slinkies.
toy sized or are you man sized?
Let's say we're 18 inches.
Yeah, 18
Okay,
inches.
you're both
each.
toy sized.
And our dwarfism is evenly distributed upon our body.
Okay, so you guys are of equal physicality.
We've been wumboed by Mermaid Man's belt.
Yeah.
Okay. So how it plays out, Max is running on a conveyor belt the wrong direction, going nowhere because he's a dwarf. And Isaac sees him down below, and he jumps down with his slinky.
But I'm also a dwarf. Wouldn't I be looking the wrong way like an idiot? Because I think you've just said to the audience that dwarves are idiots.
This is
No,
hard to
no,
comprehend
just
now.
dwarf Max is an idiot.
Okay.
Shrinking myself down makes me
It
more
also
dumb.
shrinks your brain down.
Well,
So
yeah,
your whole
Josh.
your entire body gets shrunk down.
Okay. Fine.
And then?
Isaac dishonored you with the slinky from above.
I dishonor you.
And then you're like, "Ugh," and then you fall backward, and he's on your back, which makes him fall backward even further off the conveyor belt, and he falls into some packing peanuts. And then you dishonor him, dropping down.
I think you should elaborate when you say what you mean when you say dishonor.
Well, there's a video game called Dishonored, and one of the main ways to take people out is to get above them and drop down onto them.
Because when you just say randomly, and then you dishonor him, that could mean a
sounds
number
dirty.
of things.
Because you drop down on Isaac in the packing
Yeah.
peanuts, and you both get lost in the packing peanuts. You cannot find each other. You're in there for hours because you're both so small.
Wow. That sounds pretty terrifying.
And then one of you wins. I don't know. Clay can come up with that.
Max is gonna win. All right. See, this is reminding me of like your bachelor party. We tried to like get you with the zip ties.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't get Max.
Yeah, he was all
Crazy.
like squirmy.
Yeah,
And-
I'm squirmy.
And I didn't even participate in that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
Max was putting so much effort into
I feel like Max would get in a good position, and if he hits Isaac would bump into something and be like, "My back."
My back. My back.
My bad.
My back.
Like you hit the hard handle of a suitcase.
Oh, hard handle.
But they're of both equal physicality.
Oh.
That's what Max said at the
So
beginning.
does this mean that I'm fit like Max or he's fat like me?
No, you're both dwarves.
We're just both dwarves, Isaac.
We're both
We have the
dwarves.
same physical
No,
physique.
here's
It's
what I
just
do,
we're
Max. This
dwarves.
is how I kill you. Ready?
Okay.
Do it. I get behind you like Dishonored. Slinky go around your neck. You go, and I take the slinkies, both ends. I go in the conveyor belt.
Oh,
And they go, and they go, it gets tighter and tighter, and it
Yikes.
pulls you away and you die.
Wow, that's pretty graphic.
That was very graphic.
I think I'd start just by breaking your arms. And then,
First, I begin by breaking your arms.
and then, like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, my arms are broken. Nothing
And
much
then I
you
just-
can do,
And then
man.
I just finish you off with a slinky, however I want.
Nachos for $275 were on extravagantly priced menu at Formula One Miami race.
Formula One Miami. Nachos for that much money?
Yeah, the menu also,
$275.
the menu also included Maine lobster rolls to serve 4 people for $450. There's also ice cream for $245.
Who got this menu? Like, you have to be in a special area to get this menu, or it's like open to the entire
I
Formula
see
One
a
racing?
PNG with the menu items. An empanada duo. That's
Okay.
$350. Steamed buns,
empanada?
$300.
Steamed buns, please, for $300.
Empanada?
Yeah.
Empanada. What is
Empanada.
Max, explain.
Empanada is Mexican for dessert.
that? Okay.
Empanada, Josh,
Yeah.
is a delicacy.
Yeah. And then steamed buns, $300.
I've never had
Florida
an empanada.
Stone crab cake, $450. And carne asada
Carne
nachos.
asada.
Carne asada? Yeah. Nachos, $275.
So just like really, really expensive Mexican dishes.
That's just
Dishes.
that's crazy.
For a Formula One race.
Rich people gotta watch races and eat
I mean,
nice too.
yeah,
right?
maybe even rich people look at that and be like, check out what I'm doing. I'm getting the $270 nachos.
Why don't you just eat a hot dog like everybody else in the world? Just eat it.
That's low class.
So what? Enjoy
Exactly.
NASCAR.
NASCAR. I guess rich people like to go to NASCAR, and they like, guys,
What is a Formula One?
okay, guys, this is Formula One. We got rich people here.
Yeah.
Maybe we up the price of nachos.
Hey, how much would you charge for these
Can
nachos?
is there any like descriptive language for any of these items?
So how much would you charge for these nachos? Probably like $10.
Okay, so
Let's
for
try 400.
the descriptions for the nachos, creamy salsa verde, salsa mexicana,
Mm-hmm.
cotija cheese,
Ooh.
pickled onion,
Hey.
cheese sauce.
Is that it?
Yeah.
How big are these nachos?
I want to find a picture, but the article doesn't put any.
chips.
If it feeds me for a year, okay.
Like if it's like a big
For
platter.
a year?
For a year.
It's like some elvish dish.
Nachos, Isaac.
But for $200?
You know how cheap nachos are to make?
Yeah, but for a year?
Yeah.
I think $200 for 2 months. I'm trying to think, reasonable how much you'd spend on food.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Well-
I would buy chips, buy a block of cheese, grate the cheese on top of the chips,
Yeah.
and put it in the microwave for 15 or 20 seconds.
Disgusting.
Awful.
Yeah.
I would probably put some spices like
Sounds
salt
like what
or
a white kid would do.
Spices
some,
like
some
salt.
slap your mama.
There you
that's
go,
a
yeah.
good, that's a good spice. I like
You're gonna
that.
slap your mama?
No, it's the sure.
On Twitter, it was announced that there's a Muppet TV show called Muppet Mayhem. It's about Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And Disney said that they want to do a bunch more shows with the Muppets. And they asked, what Muppets deserve their own series? And I replied, and my replies are getting a bunch of likes, a bunch of views. I said, I'd like to see a documentary series put on by Rizzo and Pepe, where they blow all their funds on the first episode. Bob Odenkirk plays a Disney exec, trying to rein them in as they continually change what their documentary is about.
Sounds confusing.
Well, like
I think it's pretty funny.
the rat and the shrimp are making a documentary, like
Yeah.
really serious, man. Okay, really serious. Okay, and they spend all their money on the first episode,
yeah.
We spent a lot of money, okay?
and they still have like 7 episodes more to go, but they spent all their money on the first one, and they pick something like really serious and heavy, like deforestation. Okay. It's like they don't know anything about the, they get experts to interview them, and it's so clear they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And then you have like people at Disney like, okay, you spent this much money, you have this many episodes more to go. You said you give us this. Oh, okay. And they keep trying, and like halfway through, like, man, the forests are boring. Okay, they make this by skateboarding now. Eh?
All right.
And the production value like gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper as the episodes come out.
Yeah.
Like the last episode is all on like Pepe's phone.
Hey, there's some random kid on the street, okay? Hey, what?
Maybe it's just a life story, eh? And Rizzo's like, let's do a slice of life. Let's follow that guy around, see what he does. So that was just following someone.
Especially it's in line with the Muppets. They're trying to run like some shows, and
Yeah,
that's like how Muppets work.
that's how Muppets work. Thank you for listening to another episode of Tan Pants.
Thank you to our patrons, navanjr, gilstronkulous, the Bigtine, and Seth Rosgaard. You guys are legends.
You can join our Patreon too and receive a free copy of my book, The Garden Maze. What?
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube.
If you'd like to hear more and stay up to date, be sure to ring the bell on the podcast app of your choice.
Let us know what you think. If you had any thoughts on the podcast, ask some questions. We'll answer them maybe.
I approve of this message.
We'd like to thank you for listening to our podcast. See you next time.